Very good evening to everyone watching us. Today we are back with our Tier 2 race, and today we are at the Austin circuit in Texas. That is in the USA. So just following the last week's real life GP calendar kind of here, we are back at it. And today again we have an action-packed race, especially in such a weekend where we have around 15 drivers who will be racing today. A couple of old comers I am expecting to see, especially KC66, who hasn't been racing with us for the past two seasons or one seasons, if I'm not wrong, and he is expected to make a return, but we'll get a final showdown on that later on. But we obviously have our old boys who are still going at it in the drivers and the constructor championship. But enough about the drivers. Let's talk about who are there in the commentary box today with me. I have Harryrox and Evil Dog as usual streaming for us the Tier 2 race. So Harry, how is it going and what are your expectations?
Well, to be honest, I am not expecting many safety cars for sure, because if I'm not wrong, we are going to the reduced safety car setting. So turn one incidents will be interesting to watch out for. I want to see what the weather forecast is, because after that, post that, we'll be able to decide whether it's going to be a more interesting race than it always has been, because Tier 2 has been our highlight tier for the last two seasons now, I must say. And it's just been amazing to watch these guys going at it for every lap in the race. And the closeness in the whole grid during quali is also very nervous as commentators to sit and watch.
Yes, that is definitely true. That is one actual good point, that in Quali in the past 4 rounds we have seen Tier 2 people being like so close to each other, and that could actually turn up into a lot of things in the race. But without further delay, let's just head over to the track video, and then we will be following it with a hot lap, and we'll show you what this track is about and what to expect and what happened here in the last season. So moving on to the track video, as I said, we are at Austin, Texas, a 20-turn track, 5.5 kilometer, 2 DRS, one in the back straight and one in the main straight. A lot of elevations changes, especially in the turn one, where you go all the way up and then you go all the way down following the S section. Let's move on to what happened here in the last season in Tier 2. So we have Monish Banger going for a move on Harryrox, who is sitting with us in the commentary section in the turn one, which can be a lot of dive bomb plays. And we also had an interesting four-way battle for P1 position between RB, Cryptid, Sid. A lot of wings flying because of misjudge of the breaking point, and this battle carried on for the back straight, where all the ERS and all the DRS was used, trying to get back that position, and RB and Cryptid battled it out for P2 towards the end as well. So again, it was a really close action-packed, especially through the fast right-hander, where the downforce, which is lacking in F1 2020, will be coming in play in this season. Moving on to the hot lap.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Circuit of the Americas here in Austin, Texas, as we're joined by Abhi Fidello, who's going to take us on board a lap through the circuit. Heading to turn 1, make sure your car's on the right-hand side, braking just before the black box on the right. The car gets light here, so make sure you're extremely careful on throttle and get a great exit down to the rundown of turn 2. Onto turn 3, 4, 5, and 6, very reminiscent of the Suzuka S's as you're gliding from apex to apex. Make sure you keep your minimum speed high and use the momentum to channel through into turn 7, 8, and 9, which is an uphill section, so the car gets very light. The balance of the car shifts from rear to the forward. And into turn 11, braking at 75 meters. We saw the drivers taking a wider apex here to get a better run onto the back straight, which is a primal hot spot for overtaking. Open the DRS over there, and heading into turn 12, you want to be on the right hand side again, using all the curb, braking just before the 100, getting all the apex and a great exit onto turn 13 and 14, a very mechanical section of the track, using the grip from the tires and not the aerodynamical downforce produced by the car. Into turn 14, using the camber of the track to rotate the car onto this beautiful section, the triple apex right-hander. Flat out in qualifying, but we will be seeing drivers lift off during the race. Into the last corner, you want to brake just after that little dark patch on the left, and make sure you get a great exit, and that completes the lap of the Circuit of the Americas. Thank you.
So that was a look around this track. Considering turn one, where there is a lot of elevation change, you don't see the apex at all. Drivers will have to go by the experience where the apex is, because that is obviously the fastest line. We can expect a lot of moves into turn one, especially, and then the turn one follows the S section, which is again very notorious for track invalidations and penalties, and a lot of concentration is needed and a car control going through this section, and then that again goes to one of the highest point again on the track, the second highest point, and again the track dips down. So it's a lot of elevation change on this track, and then a hard braking zone comes along just before the second DRS, where again we can see a lot of dive, as we saw for the top 3 battle in the last season, and that follows the back straight, which is again a DRS zone where we can see a lot of overtakes, but then that then comes sector 3, where a lot of traction zones are there. So especially the dip before the fast right-hander, that is where people generally tend to lose their rear. So again, people driving with no traction will have to be careful if they want to get on power there early. And then coming up to the infamous right-hander, the long right-hander, which is generally flat, but with full fuel load, I'm not sure. And in this game, F1 2021, considering that the downforce has gone off from the cars compared to the last game, it can be a bit tricky to take it flat. And I'm definitely sure that in full fuel load, you cannot take it flat. So again, that's also a tricky section. And the last two 90-degree corners sums up the full track for us. But that's all the blabbering that I had to do. Harry, what do you expect in terms of safety car? As you said, it will be reduced, but do you still expect that there will be safety car?
Well, it's raining. Let me just cut you short there. It's raining really heavy in Quali. I think the first 5 minutes is thunderstorm, thunder showers, and 10 minutes later it's going to reduce a bit, and then it's going to get sunny towards the end. So I don't know if drivers will get a chance to put in a hot lap on slicks, but it looks like it might be possible just to the end if they can take it to the end of Quali. Like, they can cross the line with 10 seconds left, maybe.
Yes, indeed. So basically, what that weather showed was that at least till the first 15 minutes, it's expected to be light rain, but after that, in the 20th minutes, it's full sunny. So there will be a drastic change of conditions in the last, say 2 or 3 minutes of this session, and we will have to see what drivers do to encounter, to cover up and set the fastest time, because I believe this makes the quali really exciting.
Absolutely. In fact, as you were mentioning, I mean, it's a bummer that the race isn't wet. I mean, personally, I like to watch wet races and drive in wet races. So I guess the race is fully dry. So the drivers will be on their dry setups for sure, until unless they are feeling really, let's say, ballsy to go on wet setups and set a good lap, and then probably, I don't know, drive the whole race with a wet setup, which will probably give them a lot of understeer, not enough downforce to take corners. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how these drivers take it on from here. And yeah, they will be a boat basically in the wet part of the quali session, because if they have a dry setup, they will not be having enough front ride height, which would probably cause them to aquaplane a bit. I'm not sure, but yeah, we'll have to wait and watch.
Yes, it is a thunderstorm condition, and we can definitely see a lot of water on the track. So, and as you said, most of these drivers will be going for the dry setup because the race is completely dry. So, definitely they will be struggling towards their initial part of the quali, but as the weather is improving through the quali, we will see times also improving. So it won't be someone setting the fastest time in the initial 2-3 minutes and then we won't see any action coming from any of these boys. We'll see continuous improvement of time, and who knows, we can even see some of the back markers, the middle pack of the field actually coming up, even though there is no middle pack in tier 2 because because of the closeness.
Absolutely. In fact, just before I go on, Evil Dog, if you can get us the track map. Yeah, absolutely. You read me before, bro. So, yeah. Let's try to stick on to someone who's going on a hot lap. Maybe Aaron Gavin for now, who's currently. Yeah, let's go on board him and watch how the conditions are treating him. Because, yeah, obviously he has the first sector in purple because he's the first driver to do so. He's taking the curbs quite well, to be honest, for someone on inters on thunderstorm conditions. I'm actually finding this a little odd that all drivers are on inters on thunder shower conditions, because that means it should be full wet, right?
I believe, as we said that, and that's the tricky point of, the traction zone after the heavy braking, which caused him to lose his complete front wing, and he will be heading straight back to the pits. But as you said, everyone is on inter, so I'm pretty sure the drivers know better about the track, and I'm pretty sure it's not that wet to be full wet condition, and definitely the conditions are improving, so they might be anticipating that anyways after 5 minutes it's gonna be a light shower, so why bother coming back into the pits and now only fuel in for say 5 laps and keep on putting in laps on those intermediate tires and keep improving their time as the track goes drier. But right now we are on board Warhammer, who is in the Mercedes. Even though the quality is bad, I could read his name, but he takes the S section really cautiously and smoothly and going through the uphill part and then dipping down again, coming to the hard braking zone. Again, the braking points are almost the same in the wets, a bit early, but you have to do a lot of trail braking, especially if you are not using ABS, and getting on power is again tricky. We see yellow flags, that might be drivers giving way, but again, we are on board with Abhi in the Red Bull, who will be starting his lap, and there is Williams parked really 90-degree on the start-finish line, and Abhi did not see that coming and went straight and hit him, and Alphabot and Abhi both have retired from the quali session.
I do not understand how the game did not ghost Alphabot, because he was in the middle of the track. In fact, on the racing line, partially, because oh my god, that was horrendous to watch. Abhi not able to either spot Alphabot, or he tried to just send it because expecting the game to probably ghost Alphabot.
I believe the last turn is kind of a blind turn, and you kind of, are aiming for the better exit, and you are concentrating on using the track as much as possible and trying to get as good exit. And in that, I think he forgot to see that there was a Williams, and when he saw it, he was like, maybe the game will ghost it, and they sent it. But the game did not do its job, and both of them are out of quali.
Well, as a memento, I just checked it out on stream and on Evil Dog's screen capture. I can see that on the start-finish straight, just before the finish line, there's one struck Pirelli intermediate tire over there. It's just on the track. I don't understand. The game does it a lot of times, actually. We see a DNF, and if the wheel has come off the car, it's just stuck on track for the rest of the session.
Yeah, we have seen that glitch a lot. I have seen that on the start finish as well a lot. Like, even though after the start we see that, but right now we are only joined in by 12 drivers. I'm not sure if more will join in, but this is the grid that we have as of now. Other drivers also might join in as time goes by, but we are on board Monk in the Aston Martin. Right now, he kind of missed the second exit, which is kind of compromised his whole S section. But again, it's the wet condition. You cannot judge the braking and the line through it, and you are slipping a bit. But he seems to be trying to hustle with his car right now on the track. So let's see what he can do throughout his lap.
Absolutely. And quickly, I'm gonna go through the chat, and Alex Hardwell has asked if the race is on dry or wet. The race is on dry conditions, sir. And also, all the boys and girls who are watching the stream, let's move on from Premier League and watch F1 for now. Let's get our minds off football for now, boys. What's it? I understand that the Manchester Derby went southwards for the Man U fans and upwards for the Man City fans, but let's just move on from that, shall we?
Ow. So there is still some Diwali after effects going on at my home, I can see. But we do have YoungDriverFA who has set currently the fastest time of a 1:45. I'm not sure what it is. I think it's a 6 or a 8. But yeah, that's the fastest time of the session, and other drivers are kind of off the pace at the moment, but they are still getting used to this wet condition, and definitely their times will improve as the session goes. So it was a 1:45, 8 to 7. So again,
Absolutely.
we saw BK19 losing his rear on the exit there.
Yeah, that's the exit. That's actually a very important traction zone in terms of the time you gain on the straight. The back straight's a really long one. I don't remember what distance it is or how long it is basically. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how people get their exit right when they're battling wheel to wheel. And speaking about that, I wanted to talk about how the wet conditions in wet sessions quali. We always have drivers going out for multiple laps instead of coming in after one hot lap. Like you said, no one really practices much for the wet conditions. They probably do a couple of laps just to get a feel for it. But these kind of sessions, they help you to get your right traction zones, how to accelerate, where to brake correctly, whether to trail brake, how much steering input to give, because your car behaves so differently in the wet. And with the same setup, certain setup changes will not help you at all in the wet. Like for example, today where they have to drive with the dry setup, so they have to be very cautious. And we saw a lot of drivers being cautious. They're brave to get rewarded, like maybe YoungDriverFA currently, who's on provisional pole by 2 tenths almost from the Banat. Banat's not very far off, and I'm sure he can go faster towards the end of quali.
Yes, indeed. I'm pretty sure he will be getting faster, and so will other drivers as well. Even though there is a lot of pace delta, we did see that the weather is gonna improve towards the end of the quali. It might not get fully dry, but it will definitely improve. We have 8 minutes left in the session, and we can already see Dawn setting purple first sector, which was not purple. That's just the game telling us purple, but our telemetry is there to fix it for us. He did a personal best first sector as he heads towards the second sector and the second DRS zone. Again, DRS is disabled in these wet conditions, so definitely they can't get that extra boost in their time. So he will be looking to swerve around on the straight. I'm not sure what happened there, but that kink actually catches some people off. They be like, okay, I'm chilling on the straight, and then suddenly there can be a track invalidation on the straight just because you did not take note of that kink. But as Don heads over into the third sector, one of the most trickiest braking and acceleration zone where you can lose your rear a lot, takes it properly, does go off the track a bit, but still manages to not invalidate his lap as he moves over to the fast right-hander. And we are on board now on his teammate Rambo. But we are back at Don, who is coming through the final corner and goes into the pits. All effort went into vain on commentating over his lap. Don, I am not happy with you.
Yes, I absolutely agree. That's bad, Don. You were doing well on that lap. You see that entire camber to it. It's tilted a bit. Oh my god. But yeah, as we say that, young driver, now I can see clearly that he's done a 1:45.8, which is the fastest lap currently in the session. We have 6.5 minutes left in quali. Alphabot will be definitely starting second last, because I expect Mami Poco Pants, who I am presuming is Nirma, because he's the one who comes up with weird names like this. So Nirma, we got you, bro. We have caught you live. Don't worry. You can confess later on stream maybe. Let's go. Sorry to cut you off there. Let's go quickly onboard YoungDriverFA, because the condition seems to have improved a lot. He's gained 6 tenths on his own hot lap. So let's go onboard him for the rest of the lap. He's just started his drive down the back straight. I must say he's into sector 2 probably. Let's see how his sector 2 goes. In the
Let's
meantime,
stay on board with YoungDriverFA only. We'll see what kind of time he sets.
thank you, the Panshu. So he has finished. He has gone into. Yeah, he's got the second sector as the fastest. He's almost a second faster than his previous lap time. This has definitely moved to very light rain, and the water is slowly clearing off, I guess. Not much of standing water compared to before, probably the first part of Quali. He is taking that sector 3 a little cautiously because traction very important, multiple lines to take. But now he's on that flat right, not flat anymore in the wet, I guess. He's taken that inside curve perfectly, just stays within the track over there. And yeah, the final corner, let's see how he does, because I expect him to go about 1.5 seconds, 1.2 seconds faster, and he does go about 1.5 seconds faster than his previous lap time. Uh, and Warhammer as well has improved, as we did not notice, but
I
those are
think
5 lap
he,
letters.
I think YoungDriverFA only improved by 5 tenths, not by 1.5. Because
Was it?
Banat is still 7 tenths, so he improved by 5 tenths, and now Banat is 7 tenths below him.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, and as we say that, Paras has just spun off in sector 3. I guess. Yes, in sector 3. I thought he was in a 146.8. My bad. Sorry. I think it was a 145.8.
Yes, I think it was a 145.8, and he just improved by 5 tenths towards the end of the lap.
Well, that means he's lost almost 4 tenths in the final sector. That's surprising.
Yes, indeed. Like, I believe that he lost his confidence maybe towards the end, or maybe he wasn't able to judge the track properly. But Codemasters there showing a big droplet on the camera and completely blocking the view. Good that they switched to the wing camera now and we could see the track. But right now, Banat has started his lap going through the first corner and then going downhill, heading over and fixing his car for the S section that is about to come, going left, going right, going left, and then a downshift, and again going right all the way, and then again followed by a downshift and the left, and again some braking and a right. Just a left right section as we see him spin around on the uphill approach. I have seen very less people spin out there. That was a very unusual place, Harry.
I can explain actually what happens over there. If you can go quickly on board Don 29. Oh, he's lost his wing as well. Well, I think we missed that spot. What happens over there is a slight uphill, and you try to take as much attack that curve on the inside. But if you do it half-heartedly, you just spin out as if the rear it doesn't exist anymore on the car. It's like a pivot automatically. So I've done this. I've spun over there a couple of times, so hence I'm able to explain it well. But yeah, that's what happens when you do not take that curve either fully committed, or you just miss it completely if you do not have the confidence. So I guess that's what happened to, remind me if I'm wrong, Banat. Yeah,
Yeah.
Banat. It was Banat.
So where did Don lose his way? Was it in the first sector itself or somewhere else?
Looks like it was in the first sector, because he just finished his first sector when we went on board him with a broken wing. So I guess it has to be in the first sector, or else he would have gone into the pits as well.
Yes, so with just 2 minutes left into this session is still not dry, and we will be ending it in this condition itself. But definitely the rain seems to have reduced and the track seems to have, gotten a bit faster at least. Not sure how much faster, but a bit faster.
Absolutely. Actually, it has gotten much faster. I think the drivers can easily get a second out of the current lap times. Maybe not a second now. Young driver can go another half a second faster, in my opinion. But we'll have to wait and watch. He seems to be on a hot lap right now, because we just saw BK19 and Aaron Gavin going out of the pits in softs. So I guess they are trying, but I do not see them making it for a lap anymore, because there's only 1 minute left in quali, and they're a bit too late for this move, if you ask me.
Yeah, in my opinion also it's a bit too late, and till now BK19 has, oh, DRS is enabled. Okay, so we are not seeing something on the track which these drivers are seeing for sure.
Let's quickly go on board Banat and stay on board him, because that means he's gonna get DRS for the back straight alone, not the main straight, start finish straight. Just when we say that he's going into the braking zone to sector 3, and I guess he must have gotten about a tenth. Yeah, that should explain it. He's gained only 3 thousandths because of that. He must have not done a very great sector 1. But let's see how his sector 3 goes, because that could possibly give him P2 or maybe even pole. Who knows?
Yeah,
Aaron
like
Gavin spun.
okay, but it's still raining. I can still see rain droplets falling. How is DRS enabled?
I don't think those are rain droplets, Dipanshu. I think it stopped raining, and I mean, I did not see any rain droplets, but my eyes could be failing me. But yeah, he definitely will be going P2. He's just a tenth and a half away from pole, but that should explain to you how fast Young Driver FA is, because he's done those times on a much wetter track with slight rain still falling. And these guys have all not been able to improve on those. Now, as I say that Young Driver FA has done a fastest first sector, and he goes extremely wide, invalidates his lap, but he
Well,
got I do not know what lap
yeah,
time he did. I'm
I
curious.
yeah, he did invalidate. I also forgot to see it in the last moment. But Paras is coming with the purple second sector and the best first sector of his lap, of his entire session. And he is approaching the fast right-hander in the third sector. So we will be seeing maybe a pole position coming from Paris, or maybe up in the top three. No jinx here, no, no bad luck as he approaches the final corner. Will he be able to beat the time of Young Driver FA? He keeps it on the track. DRS open. He only manages P3, just 3/10 down of Paris.
Well, I guess it's sad to see, but yeah, that's what it is, because it's not sad, I must say, but yeah, it's a different set of drivers we're seeing in the top five, maybe top of the grid. As we say that, Warhammer goes into P3 which is just probably close to 3/10 away from Young Driver FA. I'm just in awe at the pace which Young Driver has been able to show today. I want to see how he does in the race in the dry, because he's been excellent in the wet, if you ask me, till now among the drivers on track.
Yeah, I just hope that he did not load in his wet setup. Maybe he would have done some changes, not a lot, but let's see what he can pull up in the dry race that we are about to start in the next 1.5 minutes of this race. But again, Young Driver FA finishing in the top of the charts, followed by Banat and then Warhammer, who took the third position from Paris in the mere last moments of the session. A lot of people invalidating their laps. Obviously, it's the wet condition where they cannot actually, figure out where their car will be, and Nirma not going out of the pits at all. Too scared? What do you say?
But what I've seen from Nirma is when he's driving as a reserve, he takes it very chill. He doesn't want to do much in quali. He just wants to do race. And when he's doing the race, he takes the alternate strategy, obviously, because he's starting from the back of the grid, and he just wants to avoid incidents and have a clean race and show pace towards the end, stay consistent. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he does from the back of the grid right now, because he's behind the two drivers that have DNF'd as well. That is Alphabot and Abhi.
And I'm going through the chat. A couple of people asking question. Alex, the race is completely dry. To answer your question there, and then Utkarsh is cheering for Banat in the chat for the race. So definitely he's starting in P2. So let's see what he can pull out from that.
Well, Banat actually has. This is an important race for him, if you ask me, because he is in P2, whereas his championship rival for the drivers' championship is in P10, if I'm not wrong. That is Alphabot, and it is important or vital that he makes the most out of this, because he can easily gain a lot of points if he keeps it clean. And yeah, Alphabot has to just hope for the best and try to make as many positions as possible, because he's at the back foot right now. If you ask me, 10 places on the back foot. So yeah.
Yes, indeed. So for people who don't know the driver championship right now, it's being leaded by Solo with 65 points, and Paras is there sitting in P2 with 34, Shivam in P3 with 30, Banat in P4 with 28, and Alphabot, his rival, in P5 with 25 points. Even Piyush Gandhi is one of his rival, but he is unfortunately not racing today, who is also at 25 points. Dwajin with 22, Avi gone rogue with 21, Rambo and Monk with 19 points each, and that rounds the top 10 for our tier 2 race. Again, young driver FA still as a reserve has 7 points, honestly, and today he will be looking to add more to his points tally, if you may.
Yeah, that would take him straight to P3 in the championship if he's moved into a permanent seat. But yeah, that's up to the coordinators to decide, I guess, because the tier 2 grid is almost full. It's just that unfortunately, right now, I think most people would be aware that the board exams for the 11th and 12th boys and girls are going around right now, and people are busy with that. So we have a young driver driving grid in T2 usually. And yeah, that's the reason why we have lesser drivers than usual.
Also, today is Bhai Dooj in India, so
But that should
some of-
explain it more. Thank you. I
yeah.
totally forgot about that.
So some of the uh, drivers having sisters and brothers won't be available today because they will be busy with their festival at their home. So yeah, that also explains it a bit. But again, we have a break week next, so they can chill out for one more week there, and probably the exams will also get over by then, and we can be back to full grid racing 2 weeks after today.
Absolutely. I mean, it's been impressive the way Tier 2 has been, the breeding ground for the rest of the league, if I may say so, because I've been in Tier 2 up till this season, and it's just so hot, that grid. I should use the word hot because of how I feel when I'm driving on that grid. I'm not even kidding. I'm always sweating and I'm shivering if I'm in battle with people, because in quali especially, it's just amazing how people can put in amazing laps, stay almost a tenth within each other, and yeah, the Tier 2 grid's been developing really well over the past couple of seasons, maybe I must say.
Yes, indeed. So, Evil Dog, any update on what is happening in the lobby? Right now, we are seeing
I think
still seeing. So,
uh,
are they?
no, they have not yet started.
Okay. I thought that maybe the lobby got bugged or something, and that's why we are sitting here because that is expected of Codemasters. That's way more than 1 minute. I'm pretty sure these people should ready up now.
I think there is a suspicion of getting.
There you go.
Oh, there you go. Okay. There was a suspicion of someone getting stuck, I think. There was a getting stuck issue on the grid. But yeah, it looks like it has sorted itself out. And yeah, I think we should be racing within the next 12 seconds as the stream suggests. So
Uh,
let's
Not
watch.
racing really. We have a formation lap yet to see.
Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, a car's moving.
That's a better term for use. Anyways, for people who are watching and do like motorsport as we like them, do consider joining our community on Discord. As you can see, race is completely bone dry, so no need to even bother checking the weather condition as people are weaving to warm up their tires. But going back to the point that I was making, I think probably these drivers should know that, okay, there is someone who has been disqualified, that's Aaron Gavin, but these people should keep in mind that in Formation Lab, they should follow each other rather than trying to overtake to avoid any unfortunate disqualification on the track. But coming back to the point, so if you are watching and if you are a motorsport enthusiast and if you want to have some fun and have a healthy discussion with your peers in terms of any motorsport, be it MotoGP, F1, or any GT3 races that you are interested in, do consider joining our community. The links to the Discord server is there down in the description, as well as links to our website is also there down in the description. So you can always head over to the website where also you will find the links to our Discord server. We are currently 1,150 members around, and we are growing at an exponential rate. So definitely, if you would like to have a chat with some people of the same interest as you have, you can definitely consider joining our community. It doesn't need that you play the game. All matters is that you are a motorsport enthusiast.
Absolutely. I mean, a year back, maybe a little more than a year back, I joined IRC, and it has been a tornado of a year, I must say, because I've gone from being on the keyboard and being like 7 seconds, 8 seconds off pace, and not knowing that other than dive bombing, there are other ways to overtake. Because AI races are that way. You dive bomb everywhere. So
Yes.
yeah, I've gone from there to getting a wheel and getting a little competitive, getting some sparks of performance because I spin usually. So that's the ideal way you would enjoy sim racing. And I think that's your answer, Abhinav Mishra, because you asked in chat how we can race in these races, and I guess Propi gave you a brief description of IRC and how to join us and how to check out the links necessary. And yes, that should be it. And as we have formed fully on the grid, as Nirma is taking the final grid slot with mediums, we are gonna get the lights very soon. Let's wait.
Very soon, very soon. So, meanwhile, talking about the strategy, as far as I know, there are no lights yet. Is it a glitch for spectator that they don't see lights and the cars just go?
I don't think
No,
so.
no,
I
no.
don't
Lights
think
will
so.
come.
Okay, lights will come. Okay, okay. So, yeah, there are the lights. Okay, so 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and a small pause, and away we go. I see someone sleeping on the grid, and that would be Don, who has fallen back off the pack. I'm not sure. Did he disconnect or something went wrong in his brain? As we see a lot of people going wide, trying to avoid any kind of contact. In the top three, we see BK19 overtaking a couple of cars. Banat falling down the grid by 2 positions into the first turn, but everyone keeping it clean, keeping their wings intact. As we see Aaron Gavin behind, spun around. There goes Aaron Gavin. He was trying to go on the inside there of, I'm not sure, it was a blue car, as he rejoins the track very unsafely, and Don just goes through him. But I think we have a lot more exciting battles as Banat is trying to reclaim or hold on to his position of P4, which he is losing right now to Warhammer, who is on a charge. As they head back to the back straight, we see an Alpine of Banat trying to battle it out with the Mercedes on the inside. Banat goes and blocks the outside for Warhammer, but there is the Red Bull who comes from the left side, and I don't know how Warhammer spun there, but there was a minor contact there which made him spin, but a lot of action. Abhi also getting into that action there, but Banat again losing a couple of positions there to Rambo as well. So he will be trying to reclaim back all the lost positions in the coming up laps, but a great action-packed first lap that we saw here.
Well, action packed or not, Warhammer has had a messed up, sad first lap, I must say. He made a lot of moves. He was trying to go, oh,
Ooh,
those are hot
and he
tires.
spins again.
Those
Yeah,
are
those are
hot
hard.
tires.
Yep.
So yeah, as I was saying, you can clearly see that the boys on mediums are suffering in the first lap because they're not able to get the same amount of grip as the soft runners, and that is how you saw Banat trying to stick to the guys on the softs, but he was unable to. And yeah, those guys on the softs also were a bit super confident, I must say. I don't want to use the word overconfident because they tried the moves in the right place, but I guess they were not able to give enough space compared to what would be ideal, so that there was no contact. For example, Abhi did a really good move over there around the outside of Banat, but there was some contact which caused Warhammer to get a little throttle happy over there in Sector 3, and as we see, he's still
He's
struggling
still
with.
spinning. Yeah.
Uh,
So this game is like this only as we have a look at the top gainers and losers. So we do see Abhi and BK19 on those soft tires gaining a lot of positions from where they started. And I think we have another spun Warhammer. So Warhammer not happy with his tires at all, no matter what. But going up in the battle, I do see Banat in a battle with a lot of people there. He is currently holding up a pack of 3 cars behind him. Yes, so there he is. There are 3 cars behind him. DRS is enabled, so now Banat will have to defend his position and try to keep these 3 cars behind him. But again, most of the cars behind him are on medium tires. Uh, s- uh,
so
I
yeah.
Monk is on soft, so Monk will be looking to get past Banat. But talking about the strategy, Harry, what do you think? As far as I know, hards are a no-no. So do you think two stops people doing or one stop?
Probably a two stop. So from the last game at least, I remember very well in one of the races I was doing. Eccentric was on the same grid, and everyone were doing two stops. A soft, medium, soft, or a soft, medium, medium. But Eccentric went from softs to mediums and did the whole race from there on. Yes, he did struggle with some tire wear, some tire grip towards the end of the race, but he managed to keep it together, and I guess that was enough for him to get the race win in that particular race. I'm not sure if it was an IRC or another league, but yeah, that should be the case, I guess, today for people because it should be a two-stopper. The hard tires, as Warhammer is opted for right now, is almost a minute of Aaron Gavin himself.
Yes, so I am not sure whether he opted because he got a wing damage. He might have eventually got it because of so much of spinning. But yeah, as you were telling, so that strategy can work out. But again, considering that this pack is way closer than I think it was eccentric in tier 1 race itself. So that time he was probably a second quicker than anyone on the grid, and he could still manage with those tires. That might not work out here because as we can see a lot of close packs, especially in the top 5 people are still close to each other as Alphabot on the left side makes a move on Nirma into the first turn there, so maybe late braking.
Let me ask something of you, Dipanshu. Let's just make sure that today we call him only Nirma and not by the stupid name he's put on stream.
Obviously, we are not gonna elevate his confidence at all. So we are just gonna call him by the name.
So yeah, as we say that, DRS has turned on, if I'm not wrong, and Abhi is hot on the tail of BK19. So softs should go on till about lap 10, lap 12. No, that's a bit too much, I guess. I think lap 10.
Yeah, probably 7, 8. Also, if people are thinking of two-stopper as Monk looks for the inside but then decides to back off, probably will look for some other lap. But yeah, he has to hurry up, otherwise his sorts will die off, as Abhi is also closing in on BK19, who seems to be struggling a bit, has fallen off the top 2 who have flown off in the distance.
Well, even in the top 2, I must point out that YoungDriverFA is doing a brilliant job of keeping that driver, that Aston Martin of Farah behind him, like more than 1 second behind him, because that's impossible to, that's important, I meant to say, important to do, because the DRS is powerful in that back straight, and that will cause a major change in the way you are able to drive, your lap times. And as we say that Banat goes a little deep into turn 1, I don't know if that's on purpose, because we've seen some drivers do that. But yeah, Monk is hot on his tail, and he will be, as you said before, he should try and get the move done before his softs die, because or else it's going to be an impossible task to overtake from there on. And yeah, Banat is basically, at the moment, dropping off from the rest of the top 5 itself, but he should try to, I didn't say that. BK19 takes off a DHL sponsor board, and he has dropped to P5, gifting the go on.
Yeah, I think he lost his car again while going to the top of the hill, as you said, and as we see a Ferrari going on the inside. Not sure who it was. It might be the lapped car, but right now we are on board BK19, and we can see the battle up ahead between Rambo and Abhi. Rambo is looking hot on his tail. Monk is also looking hot on Banat's tail right now. So two battles that we are yet to look, as we see Dawn trying to make a move on Aaron Gavin and is successful. No, not yet successful.
On Nirma. It was on Nirma.
Oh, okay, it was on Nirma. So he was successful in doing that. So Nirma has lost 3 positions in the past 2 laps.
Yeah. He's actually lost 3 positions. I don't know if it's because of a spin, but yeah, that strat of going on a medium is right now not really paying off much. And as we say that Rambo getting fit, close to Abhi at the turn one braking point uphill, and as we say that Monk trying to dive down the inside of Banat, but he must be getting a better traction out of turn one. They are going side by side, but he just gives up that position back to Banat because he understands that going through the S section side by side is probably death itself. And as we say that Monk loses a lot of time in the dirty air of Banat, but let's hope he's able to catch up immediately because after this right left, he should be able to catch. Oh, and as we say that Rambo slams into the rear of Abhi and he's going to get overtaken by BK19 as well. BK19 trying to dive down the outside, gets pushed down, pushed wide by Rambo, but Rambo stays on track. BK19 loses that position again as fast as he gained it into the braking zone. So he will be trying to use that DRS, but again, Rambo has it from Abhi as well, and they're back to square one. I hope no wing damage. No, there is wing damage because Rambo did have a yellow front wing. Monk again in the meantime for fighting for P6 from Banat. Banat doing a brilliant job to catch up to BK19, though they were all already battling, and he's also managed to keep Monk behind. This is helping him loads in terms of the strategy calls that they're planning to make at Alpha.
Yes, definitely, because we all know that mediums will be a better choice in 2-3 laps of this race, and he will be soon flying off. And he is closing on to BK19 already. 2.1 seconds just separates him and BK19, but he's trying his level best to keep both Monk and Alphabot behind him. Behind him for the race. So let's see as we see us cut back line for BK19, but did not really work out as Rambo went a bit wide but got on power a bit early compared to BK19.
Well, before we commentate any further, can I ask Evil Dog? Evil Dog, if you don't mind, can you increase our volumes on stream? One of our viewers, Siddhant, seems to not be able to hear our commentary well. Looks like that's the issue. But as we talk about that, BK19 it seems to be pacey, but the reason why Banat was able to catch up to these guys is he and Rambo have been fighting it out for almost 2 laps now, and they've been going side by side a lot and getting pushed wide by each other a lot. A lot of elbows out racing, I must say, and that has caused Banat to catch up to them a lot. He's within DRS, and I think he's trying to make the move, if not on Rambo, and he backs out of it, I guess, from by looking at the timing sheets. So yeah, he is close in sector 3 to Rambo. He should just stick it. Probably, I don't know. Let's see if he's gonna try diving down the inside. He doesn't. Keeps it clean. Stays in the slipstream, and also the dirty air coming up in the next corner, the double right-hander, because going flat over there already is impossible, close to impossible with full fuel load. And as we say that, he's trying to go around the outside. I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep commentating on this. He goes wide, this side by side. I'm thinking he's getting a warning, and Rambo just dives into the pits. That is gonna be frustrating for Banat because he gets DRS, but he's lost a lot of time to Monk and Alphabot, and both of them. Monk gonna try and dive down the inside probably. He does break a little late, but not late enough. He keeps it clean. This side. Okay, I think he just concedes again, just like before. He doesn't want to take any risk, knowing Monk and racing with him wheel to wheel for a couple of seasons. That is typical Monk. He does not want to go for anything risky and any kind of contact, and that too with the front wing being so crucial in this game. Even a little bit of damage, you can lose a lot of downforce. Thanks a lot. You can go on now, Dipanshu.
Yes, indeed. So, as we saw there, softs are starting to die off a bit, and Rambo was not happy with them for sure, and he just dived into the pits because of that. And now it seems like Alphabot will also be eating up Monk on this DRS straight because he seems to have gotten a better exit. Maybe not. No, it seems like Monk is using up his ERS to close the gap, and as well as the DRS, which the Banat does not have from the car up front. So Banat is the guy at risk right now, but he is doing a good enough job to keep both these people behind him. So this is an exciting battle for 5th position right now going on.
Well, yes, it definitely is exciting, and I must say that the top 4 were once upon a time in the race very close, but within a second or two of each other. But now they're huge gaps between them, I must say. In terms of racing, those are huge gaps. I mean, if someone is new to motorsport, 3 seconds is like 3 years in motorsport, and for us is 3 0.7 seconds behind YoungDriverFA, who's in the lead. Abhi is 6.5 seconds almost behind Paras. And yeah, it's a lonely race for Abhi at the moment. His front tire is taking a lot of wear, and he's cutting that corner. Oh my god. Well, he must be having some warnings for sure till now. And just as I spoke about that corner, I think I must mention that the corner cutting is on strict in our league in all the races. So someone was asking about this in chat, so I had to mention it. So yeah, corner cutting is. Oh, but say that Monk and Alphabot. Monk had a moment, I guess, somewhere. I did not catch that. And Alphabot's capitalized on it immediately. Monk and Alphabot now have Aaron Gavin hot on their tails, who's also on a similar. Okay, Alphabot seems to be on eight lap old mediums, but yeah, Aaron Gavin right now is on 8 lap old softs, and Monk and him are on similar strategies. Alphabot's gonna get eaten by Monk, I guess, because yeah, that should explain. Ooh, three-way battle into the braking zone, and ooh, Monk gets sandwiched between the two, and he also loses out on a couple of positions at the end of the straight because he had overtaken Alphabot down that straight. Wow, that's some brilliant, close to clean racing because Monk had to back out completely out of this.
I was expecting this three-way battle going into the braking after the second DRS zone, and Monk got sandwiched because of that, and he came out behind both of them.
Well, I have to point it out, the top two drivers, that is Paras in P2 and Young Driver in P1, have pit for mediums right now, and they're going out of the pits at the moment. They've lost a couple of positions already. In fact, Paras is losing more than Young Driver at the moment. He seems to be coming out in front of Alphabot. Yes, Young Driver has come in front of Alphabot, whereas Paras has come down 3 places behind Young Driver FA. So that's going to be interesting to see how he's able to take it on from here because he has some traffic, fresh mediums. He has some amount of clean air, 3.2 seconds of clean air, and he's losing some time also drastically. I do not understand why, but yeah, he's gaining it back as well. But in the meantime, Young Driver FA also, who was the leader before the pit stops, is now in P4, and everyone in front of him have to take a pit stop. Abhi will be thinking about doing the pit stop and at the end of this lap if he wants to protect his P3 from BK19. But BK19 is at about 5.5 seconds away.
Can we go on board Aaron Gavin as he seems to be about to do a move behind on Dawn? No, that was Alphabot. No, he decides to back off. I believe we can stay on board Aaron Gavin himself as we see Young Driver and BK19 battling it out up front as well. Young Driver FA looking to get back the position as quickly as possible without wasting any time behind the slow soft runners because the tires are dead, and he will probably BK19 has already moved to the left and he is going into the pits. For someone who was asking whether the corner cutting is set to regular, it is not, it is strict as Harry mentioned, and you can see the penalties flying in left and right. They have started to come in and they will start to compound as the times go by.
Point out that the guys in P2 and P1 and P2 before this lap, that was Abhi and BK19 have pit. Abhi's gone on to the hards, and look where they've come out, just going one lap later than the leaders. They've come out in P8 and P9. That's super late. I mean, that's a lot of time lost in just one lap on those used softs. And I think those softs are really hitting the cliff at this point, and I don't see why Aaron Gavin and Don have not yet pit at this point.
Yes, we do see Aaron Gavin looking still feisty behind Alphabot. He was looking for the inside there, but decided to tuck behind. And Alphabot is now on a charge for Banat. He is sticking really close. DRS open, going on the inside. Banat had no choice but to give way to Alphabot. Again, both of these people are on the same strategy, so it's a battle on track that we are seeing right in front of our eyes as they go into the third sector.
Well, that was it. I mean, when you mentioned this battle itself, I had to mention that Alphabot has come from almost the back of the field, whereas Banat was in P2. Take it away quickly, Dipanshu. I'll be right back.
Yes, they are. So we are right now on board Paris, who was running in P2, but because of his pits, he is coming out a lot back. We do have some yellow flags, but I don't see any slow-moving cars. We will just ignore that. For now, it might be Warhammer. But again, it's not him. So going back to the battle that we have, Paris is that close to Dawn, and Paris is already making a move on Dawn. Can we go on board Paris? I think they are going side by side right now. Yes, so there is Paris who is trying to make a move on Dawn. He tried it on the exit of turn 1 but didn't work out, and right now he is chasing Dawn into the second sector and for the back DRS straight, and he will try to make a move on Dawn as he approaches one of the hardest braking zone on the track, probably the second hardest after turn 1. As Dawn covers the inside, Paris looks for a cutback line, but the cutback line goes horribly wrong, but still he gets a much better exit compared to Dawn, and Paris with the DRS assisted is still side by side somehow because Dawn is using his ERS, but finally Dawn concedes his position and Paris moves up into P4. He has to still catch up to YoungDriverFA. Again, people ahead of him are yet to pit, so he still has a lot of cards left in his plate, but we do see Banat, who pitted a couple of seconds back before we were on board with Paris. So Banat has gone on for the softs, probably a medium soft run from here if he is looking to be at the pace, but he can definitely extend his softs for 12 or 13 laps and complete the race as well if he is looking for some action today. As we see a lot of people going into the pits, we have Aaron Gavin going into the pits, Don going into the pits. I'm pretty sure these two drivers, after driving 12 laps on those soft tires, are definitely gonna finish the race on the medium tires, because definitely if they can take their softs for 12 laps, rest 15 laps should be easy on their medium tires. So Don,
Sorry,
yeah,
go on.
go on. So I was just telling that Don and Aaron Gavin are looking for a one-stop soft to medium strategy right now.
Well, I have to ask because I saw Banat fighting with Alphabot in P2 and 3. What happened to Banat? Has he just quit or did he have an incident?
No, he just pit, so nothing bad has happened. He has just decided to go early in his pit stop and maybe looking for a two-stopper rather than a one-stopper.
Well, with the way the field is so close and his pace is not, I don't mean to put Banat down, but everyone is at such a good pace that they're very close to each other. I don't see how he's gonna be able to make up enough places to get back close to Alphabot at this point, because Alphabot is definitely going for a one-stopper at this point with 12-lap all mediums. He cannot fit for another set of softs right now because it won't make it to the end. But if he fits for another set of mediums, that's only going to kill his race because, oh, and as I say that, Banat just gets turned around by Dawn a bit. I don't know if it was contact or a spin because of a throttle happy Banat over there, but yeah, that's what happened. We'll have a look at that later. But yeah, as I was saying about the strategy, Banat needs to be extremely fast, almost a second faster per lap for consecutively in both his soft stints, so that he's able to catch up to the podium finishers at the moment. But yeah, we'll have to wait and watch.
For now, we can definitely see that his soft tire is doing wonder on the medium runners, as he did make his move on Dawn, but that failed out. But right now he's going side by side with Aaron Gavin into turn 1, leaving enough space for him, a bit too much space, and running a bit wide, which costed him a bit of the exit. As we see Rambo there, who was in a battle, just hit the wall on the side and completely butchering his wings and the hopes of getting good points in this race in the same manner.
Well, I saw him go straight, bang straight into the wall. I don't know what happened. He steered right and went straight in and crashed into the barriers. So he's lost his wing, like you said, and those were on the hards. Oh my god, that's definitely race over at this point until unless a safety car comes in. And let me remind you, Tanish, who was there in the chat, who's still there in the chat, I think he predicted a safety car in lap 15. So Tanish, I think we are very close to this, and it has gone into lap 15. Let's wait for the whole lap and see if you are, let's say, a prophecy maker. Because if there is a safety car, you get a cookie from me.
Yeah, so a couple of people in the chat are pointing out that Don's car is on AI. I am not sure about that because if that was the case, his car should be ghosted. But again, we don't know we know the state of the Codemasters game, so we can't say anything really. As we see, Monk really going defensive on Don right there. He didn't need to be so defensive, and we also have Banat trying to go for a round 2 on Aaron Gavin. A brilliant switch back coming on the exit of turn 1, but Aaron Gavin again getting a better exit, being on the outside. Manages to keep the position there as Banat gets a penalty for cutting the track right there into turn 3 or 4 if I'm not wrong. So so Banat is not able to capitalize on his soft tires, but I'm pretty sure he should be clearing out the pack as soon as possible, otherwise he will be losing on his time. As we see Don trying to reclaim back, trying to get a move done on Monk. Monk again going really defensive. I'm not sure why Don doesn't have DRS, or is it just me? Oh no, he does have DRS, and he has already made a move on Monk because of that DRS. So people who were telling that he's on AI, he's definitely not on AI. He is driving. So whatever he is doing is done by his own will.
Yes, absolutely. I do not want to take any credit away from Don with the way he's racing at the moment. Yes, he might not have a full grid to fight, but he's still doing very well with those mediums which he's freshly fit onto. And yeah, he has a good chance at points considering there are a couple of pit stops coming up from the drivers ahead. And one of the drivers ahead, Abhi, is on 4-lap-old hards. So towards the end of the race, we'll have to see how it pans out. But Monk is in a tight battle. He's having to defend a lot from the drivers behind. Aaron Gavin's made the move. Banat also makes the move on Monk. Monk losing 2 places. Banat has to go wheel to wheel. And Banat gets the move done on Aaron Gavin as well. Maybe he's trying to go around the outside. But again, just like the previous lap, he's losing out in that braking zone in turn 1, and Aaron Gavin somehow able to keep the car ahead of him. He tried to fight through the first couple of S's, the turns in the S's, but he was not able to, and he's backed out of it. He might probably try a move down the back straight using the DRS. And as I say that, well, 11 lap old hards and about a minute behind Monk. Warhammer is still struggling with traction. Abhi, in the meantime, on fresh hards, is trying to make the move on Nirma, who is on 15 lap old mediums.
So it seems like Banat has finally made a move on Aaron Gavin on the back DRS straight, and he should be able to keep that position because of his soft tires over the medium tires going through the third sector, and especially through the double right-hander. So this battle costed him 3 or 4 laps. Again, we saw the repeat of what happened into the turn 2, just because maybe there was not enough space for Aaron Gavin on the inside. Maybe there was. Some people tend to not take the inside curve into the turn 2, and maybe that's what he was doing. But Nirma pits in for a soft till the end, and let's see what he can do with those tires.
Yeah, he is on fresh softs, less fuel load than the guys who started on the softs, and he has about 11 laps to do, and we'll have to see how it goes. And at the same time, I think we saw Warhammer and Rambo retiring in the pits. Looks like they must have ended their race in frustration at this point, because those tires just weren't working for them. And Rambo, yeah, both of them were on hards when they retired. So that should explain a little about how the hards were treating these drivers. And the only driver on hards right now in the among the drivers are Abhi. He's on 5-lap old hards. He can easily go to the end of the race, no questions asked. But I guess that S's, the grip he must be losing in the S's is probably a nightmare for him.
Yeah, we do see BK19 behind him, who might be looking to close on to Abhi. If BK19 has the pace to do that, he does seem to be closing in slowly, and losing it in some sectors as well. So Abhi doing a brilliant job on his hard tires. Definitely, I am not gonna take away that from him. As Alphabot's overtakes Paras, who is pitting in for the second time to finish the race on the soft tire compound that he is putting in right now. Thinking of making a charge to the top of the field, but again he will have to overtake a lot of cars in the process, and he will have to do it quickly before his soft tires run out.
Well, Paras has lost a lot of 6 positions after that pit stop, and well, I did not see how. I mean, we saw Banat struggling to overtake, surprisingly on a track which has 2 long straights to try and overtake into the braking zone. Banat's been struggling to make the moves on his fellow drivers on the grid, and the likes of Monk were able to defend really well from Banat, and so was Aaron Gavin. But yeah, I don't know if it will work out for Paras. He has fresh softs, like you said. He has a couple of amazing drivers up ahead of him. As we say that he's gaining a lot in the braking zone, and I think this might be a straightforward move considering he got a decent exit. He has a lot of ERS and the DRS advantage as well.
Yeah, so it will be a move done and dusted on the straight because of the DRS and ERS and the soft tire grip. So that was an easy move by Paras, and next target for him is Banat, who is straight ahead of him on 5-lap old softs while he is running a fresh soft. One more advantage that Paras gets is that he can now set the fastest lap of the session and get that 1 extra point. That might help him in the Drivers' Championship, but Alphabot, after 18 laps on those mediums, finally decided to get into the pits and go for the soft till the end. As we see Aaron Gavin on the grass there. Yes, that was Aaron Gavin on the grass. I'm not sure what happened. Did he lose on his own, or was there some contact? But we will not be able to know for sure. He has lost his wing and he is heading back into the pits. Monk also is heading back into the pits. Alphabot exited the pits just now, but Paras is hot on tail with Banat right now, just 5 tenths behind Banat on the 5 laps newer tires, soft tires that he is running.
Someone did point it out in chat, but let's not take anything away from YoungDriverFA, who's right now leading by 24 seconds from the rest of the field. This is definitely like I think Dan Deman mentioned in the chat. He's pulling out a W11 Hamilton with that 15-second. Well, boss, it's another 10 seconds more than what you had seen. So it's a 15-second lead. And as I say that, looks like Paras is getting the move done very easily on Banat. Banat doesn't seem to be able to capitalize on those softs, and now he's losing those soft tires as well because of 6 lap older than the Aston Martin of Paras, and Paras has made the move look pretty easy, and he has also going to be charging very soon. He might actually get P4 very soon from Don29 as well, as he's gaining a lot of time. As we say that, YoungDriverFA as well pits, and he's easily a pit stop ahead of the rest of the field. He's going to come out about a couple of seconds, maybe more ahead of Abhi after the pit stop, and we'll have to wait and watch as Paras is going to get the fastest lap for sure now. He goes a little bit wide at the final turn. He puts in a 134.8, a 134.6, and as he makes the move on Don29 pretty easily. Don trying to take a wide line, tries to get the switch back. He's very close. Has some minor contact, but then backs out. I think that's the sensible thing to do considering he's on a totally different strategy. But he could also finish the race on the medium, so he could try and fight for the podium finishing places. But yeah, we'll have to wait and watch how Don fares from here on, because he's in P4 at the moment.
Yes, indeed. So Paras is on a charge, and we did see YoungDriverFA also pit in for the south. So that might put Paras's 1 point of the fastest lap of the race at risk for sure, and YoungDriverFA trying to get that 1 point as well, as he is on his hot lap. Now that the battle has cooled down a bit, we have time to take a breather and think about what has happened through the race. We did manage to figure out that hards are not the right tire, even though Abhi is sitting in P2 on those hard tires, 8 seconds behind, and he's clear, 3.5 seconds clear of Paras, who is closing the gap by every corner, and pretty sure he's gaining around 1 or 2 seconds per lap on Abhi. I'm not sure, Evil Dog, if you have the striking lap thing enabled. If you can enable it, we can see how much he has been gaining on Paras. Can you go on board Paras? And yes. So can you just go on board Paras first? Yes. So there we see it. So in the excluding lap 17 where he pitted, we can see in the last 2 laps he has gained around 3 plus 2, so that's 5.5 seconds on Abhi, who is struggling with his hard tires, and Paras with his brand new shining soft tires catching up to Abhi. So it might just be a battle that is already lost for Abhi, but Abhi will still be happy with a P2 without any penalties, and there can be, I'm pretty sure Paras does have 3 second at least in his bank, so Paras will have to overtake as well as create a gap of 3 seconds to Abhi in for him to win, to get the P2 position there.
Absolutely. I mean, Paras has done it perfectly, if you ask me, in terms of strategy. YoungDriverFA, well, he had a lot of time to play with, but Paras has done it perfectly. I actually called it out wrong by telling he might have done the wrong thing, considering how Banat was struggling. But Banat, as we speak, is on a fresh set of softs. Him and BK19 are not very close to each other, within 4 seconds of each other. But yeah, they will be trying to make a charge as well, considering they're able to make up 7 places and overtake Nirma in the Ferrari on 3-lap-old softs. And as we say that, YoungDriverFA takes the fastest lap by almost 6 tenths from Paras. And he's extended his lead to 12 seconds, 13 seconds at this point. And Paras has caught up to Abhi as well for P2.
Yeah, so this battle is gonna be exciting with the DRS, and with the ARS he goes on the inside. Abhi is completely defenseless as Abhi looks for a cutback line, but there is just not enough grip for that move to be there, and Paras just moves up to P2 just like that, and the soft tire showing its magic on Paras, and Paras taking as much advantage as possible. Evil Dog, you can probably turn off the striking lap now that we already know, you know what, already the move is done, and I'm pretty sure Paras won't be able to overtake YoungDriverFA, and Abhi won't be able to keep it up with Paras. Paras not having a lot of tire wear as well. He will definitely be finishing the race on those soft tires, and now he can think about conserving his tires till the end of the race and finishing on them in P2. Can you show the penalty status for Paras?
Actually, I was going to ask for the same. I want to see what the penalty status is. And as we see, YoungDriver and Paras have 3 seconds each, but only Paras has to think about it. I think he'll be able to pull out a 3-second lead on Abhi very easily, considering the softs have so much more grip than the hards which Abhi is on. He's already gained about 1.5 seconds, 1.2 seconds at this point, and we have another 6 laps to go from here on. But yeah, Don in P4 has 6 seconds, and Nirma in P6 has 3 seconds, so does BK19 and Banat in P7 and 8 respectively. Aaron Gavin in P10 has 6 seconds, and he has nothing to lose except for that 1 point by DNFing at this point. I don't think Aaron's going to DNF because he isn't that easy a driver to spin out, I must say.
Yeah, so talking about so Siddharth in the chat has mentioned that the game still shows Aston Martin as racing point. That might be the telemetry, not the game, because again, the graphics that you see on the bottom left for the tire graphics, which is showing that Don's front tires are dying compared to his rear ones. It's almost orange, but he should be able to complete the next 5 laps. All these graphics, and even on the top right and the striking lap graphics that you showed, everything has been done by the telemetry team here at IRC, and that's not the game's graphic, and we are yet to update the telemetry from our F1 2020 season, and that's probably one of the reason why it still shows as Racing Point and not as Aston Martin. Might be updated in the next 1 or 2 weeks, so you will still be seeing Aston Martin. You will be seeing Aston Martin after that. Right now, you might also be seeing the colors to not be correct. You know, Aston Martin is green, but Racing Point is pink. So we still have that pink there, as we are on board Alphabot, who is on his press softs and trying to chase down on Don. Don looking really out of shape as, from the point of view of Alphabot, and I just hope that Alphabot does not do any stupid moves, seeing those shaky Don in front of him as they head over to the double right-hander. I'm pretty sure the move will be done on the start-finish straight. What do you think, Harry?
Yeah, I think you've answered it for yourself because John looks like having some kind of glitchy issues, but yeah, Alphabot's nonetheless made the move clean down the start finish straight, has already pulled out almost half a second going into the S's. And Don on the medium tires, 10 lap old mediums, I think he's just trying to finish the race at this point because he's in an excellent position compared to where he started in. So is Nirma, who's in P6. So Don doesn't really. That's not a battle he has to fight as of now. In fact, Alphabot might actually get P3 at this point if he is able to go at it with these tires because Abhi is on 12 lap old hards, but it's still hard tires. They might have not died yet in terms of grip and pace, but they're still hard tires compared to 4 lap old softs, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, 4 lap old softs of Alphabot. So Alphabot has a very good chance of getting onto the podium, and he's also clean in terms of penalties. So both Alphabot and Abhi have no penalties, and yeah, that should be interesting to see how Alphabot's able to progress from here on because he definitely has the pace. He's within DRS range of Abhi, and we'll stay on board Alphabot to see if he's able to make the move in the start finish straight or maybe at the back straight.
Just to cut you off, I did found that BK19 was trying to break the slipstream of Banat, who is also closing on BK19 on the same tire age as BK19. As we are on board Alphabot, Abhi also trying to break the slipstream from Alphabot, but Abhi will be a sitting duck. Because of those hard tires, we do see a couple of penalties flying in on the top. Again, that also is a contribution of our telemetry team. All the graphics and even the striking lap, and as I said, the weather prediction graphics, everything has been done by our telemetry team. Still needs updation from 2020 season, but we are there and we will be getting there soon as we are on board Alphabot, who is heading over to the back straight right now.
Well, he has to nail the traction out of the turn 5, if I'm not wrong, or 6. And he seems to have done it perfectly fine. He has the DRS, he has ERS, he spent all of his ERS actually. He has nothing at the end. Oh, that was very close and late. And I think he got hit by Abhi as well. Abhi braking a little too late. He tapped the left rear of Alphabot and had a slight spin. But
Yeah.
I think he is closely battling with Don at the moment. Don and him battling it out on track. So does BK19 and the Banat. Banat gets banged off with elbows out racing from BK19.
Yes, so talking about the Alphabot situation, it was no fault of Alphabot at all. It was just Abhi with his hard tires not able to stop his car in time for the inside line, and he just went and hit, and the contact model did the rest. And as we saw with Banat, BK19 trying to squeeze him out of the track, trying to hold for his dear life for the position, but it seems like Abhi might lose one more position to Don, but Don still has a penalty and he has to cover up a lot of time if he manages to overtake, that is. But Banat preparing for round 2 on BK19. This time he will be looking into going for the inside on the back straight as Don gets another 3 seconds. So Don is sitting at 9 seconds penalty. So even if Don manages to overtake, there is no point because Abhi is sitting with no penalty at all right there.
Absolutely. And yes, RB try to use the term high tire wear, quote unquote, instead of tires died. I think that's on me. I use tires died very quickly. But yeah, I meant to say that when the tires are dead or the tires died, I'm trying to tell that they've hit the cliff. But yeah, high tire wear is what I will try to use from now on. Thanks for pointing that out. And as we say that, Banat uses DRS and ERS, only 20% left in his tank, and he tries to brake a little later than BK19. BK19 trying to get the switch back, but he is still behind Banat after that. But they are on equal tires, so this is just battle for raw pace on track and how well they're able to utilize the track. And as we see that, both drivers haven't really gone really very wide over there. They have taken it a little conservative. I can understand if BK19 does that because he has the dirty air to take care of. But Banat is finally breathe a sign of relief because he's finally made that move and he's gone into P7. As we say, the Dawn tries to break very late, goes around the outside, goes wide off track, and is not able to make the move on Abhi. He's getting frustrated in that Alfa Romeo F1 car because he's not able to make the move on Abhi. But to be honest, Abhi gets 3-second penalty. That's the first penalty for him in the race, and it's coming in lap 27. This is just the penultimate lap. Don is not on good tires in terms of tire wear. That's for you, RV. He's not on good tires in terms of tire wear. It is off the cliff in terms of front tire grip because as you can see, he's been putting in a lot of steering lock. You can see those front tires are almost easily a 10 to 15% more worn out than the rear tires.
Yes, indeed. So as we head over to the back straight, let's see if Don pulls out. Yes, he does pull out on the inside and gets the move done. But again, he has to cover up 6 seconds if he wants to keep that position, which I'm pretty sure he's not gonna be doing in the next one lap. But talking about the Banat overtake on BK19, that's what Banat needed to do. He needed to slide on the inside of BK19 to get the move done. He was quicker than BK19 and he knew it, and he went for the inside, and that just made him stick the move there, and he moves up one position, currently running P7 and only 7 tenths behind Nirma, who is on medium tires, if I'm not wrong. So Banat might be looking for one more position. Anyways, according to the penalties, he has already gotten P6. So definitely he can get... he will be getting the position on track as well in the last lap here.
We say that Aaron Gavin seems to have lost a wing and spun out, I think, on the back straight at the exit of the back straight. But as we say that, till now, a brilliant race for young driver FA. He's about 17 and a half seconds ahead of Paras. 2 lap younger tires of softs as well, and this is his final sector, and that's the final time he'll be going through that final sector for this race because it's the final lap, and he's managed his race perfectly fine. Yes, there were a lot of incidents behind him which helped him, but that doesn't take away any of that pace he's been able to show tonight, and he is going through 2 more corners left for getting that win. Goes easy because he knows he's gotten the win set, but he's already gained a second on Paras. And as we say that, he goes towards the pit wall, celebrates with his team sticking out of there. Williams gets a win, and he's on P1 at this point. Let's quickly go on to Paras because he will be coming around the final 2 corners as well at this point. He goes a little wide. Doesn't matter because his penalties will help him. Alphabot hasn't been able to catch up to him. He finishes in P2. And Alphabot, as we say, that comes around the final corner. Let's see. I think he gets only a P3, but he'll be happy with that considering he started in P10. Don, in the meantime, finishes ahead of Abhi, but he will lose that position to Abhi just because of the penalties, and probably might lose a position to Banat as well. Maybe not.
So Banat, meanwhile, all this was happening, Banat did make a move on Nirma in the last lap, in the back straight, which we didn't notice, but I was checking the timing sheets while we were on board celebrating with the P1 driver. So Banat definitely getting the position on track from Nirma, and anyways he finished ahead of Nirma there. So that's the race for us. Game declaring Alphabot as the driver of day. Definitely he did come back from the bottom of the grid all the way to P3 or P2. I think it's P2, right?
P3.
Or
P3.
P3. Okay, P3. That's a brilliant finish from him as we are celebrating with the champagne
And no penalties as
there.
well. Alphabot, I think he's only racing with the penalties.
So he was the only person to finish the race without any penalties whatsoever. Abhi was right there with him, but at the end he get a penalty. So looking at the final finishing order, we have YoungDriverFA in P1, Paras in P2, in the Aston Martin Alphabot in P3, in the Williams P4, Abhi in the Red Bull on the hard tires, Banat in P5, in Alpine P6, Nirma P7, BK19, Monk in P8, and Don in P9, losing so many positions because of his penalty situation and because the grid being that close. Aaron Gavin in P10 and P11, Warhammer and Rambo in P12, who did not finish the race at all because of not being able to keep their car on track after the initial incidents that they had. But that's what the pits look like, how people change their wings. And the race director for the race, Don, ended up with a 9-second penalty, which actually caused him to drop all the way from P5, if I'm not wrong, to P9. That's a big loss for him. And Banat getting P5 because of that, as we wait for the podium interview. So Harry and Evil Dog as well, we haven't heard from you for the entirety of the race. You have been our guy in the back. So what did you think about this race, Evil Dog? What were your reactions in the race?
Kind of like up to an extent, like since the grid not being full, kind of dull race, I would say.
That is for sure, but again, we can't help because of festive seasons and all the exams and everything that are going on. Meanwhile, we do have all the podium finishers with us in the commentary box, so why don't you start it off, Harry?
Sure. So for the race winner first, YoungDriverFA, excellent race from you. Tell me about that Quali lap. That was a brilliant lap from you. How did that lap go for you?
Oh, was it? I didn't know it was a brilliant lap because I was understeering a lot in that lap. But yeah, apparently it was fastest.
Yeah, so the reason I called it a brilliant lap was you did it when there was a slight drizzle towards the final third of the qualifying session, whereas the faster drivers, or I must say the drivers whom I've been seeing in the previous races, came out when the showers had stopped and there was just a wet track, and DRS had enabled as well for them, but they were still not able to beat your time. Hence, I found that to be a great lap from you.
Alright.
Well, in the meantime, how was your race? Because you led from start to finish. That was, I think, a Grand Slam finish for you, if I'm not wrong, because you got the pole position, you got the fastest lap, you led every lap, and I think, yeah, you came P1 as well.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't expect that at turn 1 because I thought Banat would take me right off the bat. But unfortunately, I think he went off track on turn 1. So after that, it was just a boring race to be honest.
Well, I think that should explain it to you how great you are with pace around at least Austin or the COTA track, because it was a brilliant race from you and you finished about 18 seconds ahead of the rest of the grid. So kudos to you and a great race. Moving on to P2, that was Paras in the Aston Martin. How was that race for you, Paras? Because it seemed like that strategy called to go on to the fresh softs a little later, which put you to P8 if I'm not wrong. It looked like you might not be able to make it back to the podium places, but you did brilliant to keep it up.
Yeah, the race at the start had a good start. And, I don't have much, like I didn't have good pace around here. And young driver was just pulling up every lap. And I didn't pit late, I just pit behind him, like with the young driver. The gap was like 5 seconds. But then after the pit stop, I was stuck behind traffic, lost like 10 seconds behind them. And then after that, it was quite boring. I didn't have like anyone to battle with in front or behind. So yeah, that's it.
Absolutely. That last set of pit stops did put you in a space where you had about 10 second or 12 second lead to catch up. I mean, a 10 to 12 second gap to young driver, but nonetheless, a brilliant race from you. I saw some of your moves on track and they were really good. Your move onto the softs versus Banat, who struggled on the fresh softs and wasn't able to make up ground as well as you did, was what caught me off guard, and you did brilliantly to do that perfectly at the right time, on the right places on track, and hence that deserving P2. Great race from you.
Yeah, we do have a lot of cheering for young driver OP in our chat. So, do you have a lot of fans here?
I don't know.
Yes, a lot of people are calling you OP. So, yeah. Anyways, continue, Harry.
Yes, that's worth to note out. You did get a lot of appreciation in chat, so yeah, kudos to you, young driver. In the meantime, P3, an unexpected P3, I must say, for Alphabot, considering how close the grid is usually. Alphabot, how was it race for you? Tell us how it went from P10 to P3.
So yeah, so I mean, I don't like, so I'm, as you guys know, I'm like, I attract crashes. I always crash. But so this time I just did not do any pushing on turn one. I dropped 2 seconds behind the last people ahead of me, and then I just slowly worked my way up from that. And I think there were like 3 or 4 people on medium soft, the alternate strategy, and Banat unfortunately got hit. A Warhammer spun on lap one, and my teammate, Nirma, also just didn't have the pace to keep up. So I just extended it to lap 18. My tire was surprisingly only like 54%. And yeah, then after that, I just had to push. But yeah, and then some questionable moves on Abhi in the end. But yeah, it was really fun. And congrats to Paras. You kept it really clean, and you drove really well to drive to P2. And even though I pitted a few laps later than you, your gap was just the same. It didn't. You were really quick. Congrats, man.
Yes, so that kind of concludes our interview. Definitely a brilliant race by all three of you. So, so yeah, so a brilliant drive by all three of you. I think that's it from our side as well for today's race. A brilliant race that we got to watch, even though it was not a full grid. We were not devoid of any action on track that we missed. So definitely a lot of overtakes, a lot of moves, a lot of mishaps. Everything was there in today's race. But we will be continuing the streak tomorrow afternoon when we have our Tier 2020 race in the afternoon at 2:30 p.m. and then with our Tier 1 boys tomorrow night at 8 p.m. same time with our Tier 1 race in the same track, obviously, as we always do it. So that's it from our side. Again, if you liked what you watched, do drop in a like, do drop in a comment, and comment on your best moments of the race. What did you like and what did you not like about the race? And if you like what we do consider subscribing and hitting the bell notification icon to get notified whenever we go live with our IRC races, as well as we kind of sometimes put out other content as well, short clips, so you will get notified for those as well. And again, if you are a motorsport enthusiast and if you like talking about motorsports, or if you like racing in F1 or ACC or Assetto Corsa or Dirt 2 or even any other games that you would like to have fun in, you can definitely join our community. The links are there down in the description to our website, to our Discord server. Obviously, from the website also, you can join our Discord server. Again, thanks everyone for watching and hope you have a good day. That's me, No More Pro Player, signing off today's stream with Harryrox as my commentator. Thank you and have a nice day.